Good afternoon, gentlemen, and welcome to this week's edition of American Fantasy Football League News. I am your host, Paul Glassman. It's officially trade weekend. This is a big weekend in American Fantasy Football League. So let's start off by talking about some possible moves around the league. This morning, Griffin Rank, the owner of the Pawtucket Patriot Ales, contacted me and said that he is willing to trade draft picks in the first 2/3 rounds for a solid keeper running back or wide receiver. So if you have a running back or wide receiver that you feel is worthy of a first to third round pick, go ahead and contact Griffin. Griffin also told me that he is going to be naming a co-general manager in the coming days of this week. Tom, the owner of the UPS Loggers, has stated that he has lots of picks to trade and is wanting to buy some keepers. So if you need some more draft picks, go ahead and contact Tom with a trade offer. Tom has also said that he has plenty of defensive backs, but he is willing to listen to trade offers for all other positions. Joe, who's the owner of Shit-a-Brick, has said that he has too many picks. He says that he will trade 2 of his picks for 1 in return, and that he will also entertain trades involving wide receivers, but has said that Ray Rice, Matt Forte, Jordy Nelson, and Drew Brees are officially off limits. I'm going to shift the attention now to some rookie draft potentials. I'm going to start off by talking about Tavon Austin. Tavon Austin was selected 8th overall by the St. Louis Rams this season. He was drafted out of West Virginia. Tavon Austin, his senior year, had 114 receptions for just under 1,300 yards, meaning he had 11.3 yards per reception. He also caught 12 touchdown passes, and Austin was a dual threat for the Mountaineers. Along with being a wide receiver, he also had 72 rushing attempts for 643 yards, averaging 8.9 yards per carry. He rushed for 3 touchdowns as well. Austin also returned punts for the Mountaineers. He had 15 returns for 165 yards and 1 touchdown. And just when you think it may be over, Austin was also a kick returner for the Mountaineers. He returned 33 kicks for 813 yards and 1 touchdown. At the Combine, Austin was impressive with a 4.34 40 and a 32-inch vert jump. I believe with Danny Amendola going off to the Patriots this season, it's going to leave the door wide open for Tavon Austin to be the leading wide receiver in the St. Louis Rams organization. With Steven Jackson gone, the Rams offense is going to have to rely on Sam Bradford to have an increased amount of pass attempts as well. Tavon Austin is a versatile player, and I think he could really surprise some people and make an impact on the Rams offense. Going to number 2 now, Jarvis Jones, selected 17th overall out of the University of Georgia by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, the Steelers lost James Harrison this season, although I don't really think it's a big loss for them. I think that James Harrison, with all of the fines that he's received in the past couple seasons, it's getting difficult for the Steelers to really put up with him. Jones had a monstrous senior year with Georgia, stringing together 86 total tackles. 53 of those were solo tackles, 33 assisted. Jones also had 14.5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles, and 1 interception that he ran back for 21 yards. Jarvis did not participate in the Combine due to medical clearance reasons. He didn't know whether or not he was going to be medically cleared. As a lot of you know, he had that neck injury his freshman year at the University of Southern California, but redshirted in 2010 to fully rehab his neck, and then transferred to the University of Georgia in 2011 and played there the rest of his career. Although the numbers he put up his senior year were really enough for the Steelers to be completely happy with him about. Jones plays hard-nosed football, and that's exactly what the Steelers are looking for. They use their first-round pick on this guy. They're high up on him right now, and I think Jones will be a surprising rookie for the Steelers. And I think he'll continue to bring in big numbers on Sunday nights. I'm going to talk about Eric Reid now. Eric Reid was drafted 18th overall, just after Jones, by the San Francisco 49ers. Eric Reid was drafted out of LSU. In 2010, Reed only had 32 tackles, but also had 2 interceptions for 65 yards. In 2011, his potential came to light when he recorded 76 total tackles and again 2 interceptions for 10 yards, but added 2 forced fumbles into the mix. In 2012, Reed recorded the most tackles of his collegiate career, racking up 91 total tackles, accompanied by 2 interceptions for 29 yards. At the Combine, Reed ran a 4.53 40 with a 40.5-inch vertical. Reed is a quick and physical player and will add depth to the 49er defense. A lot of you know the 49er defense may not need some help, but I think that Eric Reed is going to be a pretty good young star for them for years to come, too. Fourth on my list is Desmond Trufant out of the University of Washington. He was selected 22nd overall by the Atlanta Falcons. Trufant had 31 total tackles his senior year, accompanied by 1 sack and 1 interception. Trufant ran a 4.38 40 at the Combine with a 37.5 vertical. He's a quick-footed corner that is good at mirroring receivers and does a good job of getting his hands on the ball and breaking up the pass. Although the total tackles doesn't truly reflect how good of a player he is, I believe that he is going to really surprise a lot of people just because of his quickness and his tenacity to get to the ball. Fifth and final is going to be our first quarterback talking about, and I'm going to talk about Geno Smith, who was drafted 39th overall by the New York Jets. Now, I know that some of you may kind of laugh at this, but I think that Geno Smith will honestly beat out Mark Sanchez for the job. I think that we all can agree that it was only a matter of time before Rex Ryan began to lose faith in Mark Sanchez. I think the Mark Sanchez experiment is finally kind of coming to an end here in the Jets organization. The Jets may not be an offensive powerhouse, but Geno brings a lot of versatility and movement out of the pocket to the table. And when I say movement out of the pocket, he's able to scramble, whereas Mark Sanchez just runs into his tackle and fumbles the ball. In 2012, Smith attempted 518 passes, completing 369 of them. That was a 71.2 completion percentage. He threw for 4,205 yards, averaging 8.1 yards per throw, and threw for 42 touchdowns. He had a QB rating of 163.9. If needed, Smith can run outside of the pocket. He rushed 66 times his senior year for 151 yards and 2 touchdowns. At the Combine, Smith ran a 4.59 40 with a 33.5 vert. And I think if Smith plays well tonight for the Jets, he's going to get the starting job. Now, playing well means a couple of things. First, he'll have to keep the turnovers to a minimum. As we all know, Mark Sanchez can't do anything but turn the ball over. The turnovers in the past couple seasons have been extremely detrimental to the Jets organization. And I think Smith will also have to throw at least 2 touchdowns to prove that he can move the team down the field and score. That 2 touchdowns is going to have to be accompanied with at least 150 yards passing, maybe 30 to 80 yards rushing, and maybe a rushing touchdown as well. I think Geno is going to have to really prove himself to get the job over Sanchez, but I think once the offensive production is there, he's not going to have any problem keeping the job over Sanchez. So this has been day 1 of American Fantasy Football League News Trade Weekend. Again, I am Paul Glassman. Follow me on Twitter. I'll put my my Twitter handle at the bottom. It's GrizzNation99. You can email me. I'll put my email at the bottom as well. Again, if you have any potential trades that you would like to leak to me, let me know.